Kickboxer Vengeance, guys. Now, I actually watched this movie twice last night. First time around, I thought the movie was okay, but I found myself comparing it to the original with Van Damme a little bit too much. Second time around, I actually thought the movie was very enjoyable and definitely reasonably good. And I must say, it was great to see Van Damme back in this one. He hasn't appeared in any of the Kickboxer films other than the first one, and this one is a complete remake or reboot of the original film. It has nothing to do with the other three films that followed the first one. This is actually the fifth film in the series, if you want to include it as part of the series, but it is a complete remake. Now, having said that, I was a little disappointed that Van Damme didn't actually take on the title role of Kurt Sloan. He could have been like an older, retired Kurt Sloan, retreated in Thailand, training people, stuff like that. I think they really should have brought him back as the original title character and just changed their names and the story a little bit of everything else. Obviously, Tong Po would have been aged as well if Kurt was aged. He could have still been a badass, killing people in the ring. I don't know, there's just something they could have done to give it a bit of a spark and give it that nostalgic feeling that the original had. Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, in Kickboxer 2 they killed off Kurt Sloan. Well, yes they did, but this is a remake, so the Kurt Sloan character is still alive in this film. They could have brought him back as Van Damme regardless, because it's a complete reboot. Or if they wanted to explain his death, it's Hollywood for Christ's sake. They could have made out Kurt Sloan faked his own death. They could have made it out that Tong Po faked the entire murder. So many things they could have done if they wanted to bring that character back, but they chose not to. They just brought back Van Damme as some random dude named Duran, and he's just training people in Thailand, much like Xian was in the original Kickboxer flick. Now, with Van Damme aside, Dave Bautista is absolutely awesome as Tong Po. I don't know whether he's quite as good as the original Tong Po, because that guy was freaking awesome. He was a scary dude, and he actually wasn't Thai. Just like Dave Bautista, he wasn't Thai, but damn, he pulled off that role so freaking well. It was unreal. He actually looked like a Thai kickboxer. I think he did an incredible job. Dave did an awesome job as well. I think I loved him as Tong Po. I'm not sure who these days could have done a better job, but he did an absolutely amazing job, so my hat's off to him. But the original guy was absolutely incredible also, probably just a little bit better than Dave Bautista. Having said that, I was very happy with him. You also see a few UFC fighters turn up in this flick now. George St. Pierre plays like a drunken fighter. He's always drinking. He's actually really funny. He pulls off the part really well. I enjoyed seeing George St. Pierre in this. His acting skills are actually getting a lot better, and he was pretty good in this. I enjoyed watching him. Cain Velasquez, the heavyweight fighter from the UFC, ex-champion, was also in this. He plays a barroom brawler, and I actually enjoyed seeing him in this as well. And Fabrizio Verdum, who probably didn't need to be included in this, but he also appears as well towards the end when Kurt Sloan is looking to challenge Tong Po to a fight. That's the way he said it. A few things that I didn't like about this. Gina Carano, the former MMA fighter, she appears in this movie as well as some sort of evil betting villainess who tries to make money off Tong Po killing people in the ring. She is a former fighter, but yet is just a pretty face in this movie. She doesn't fight at all, doesn't show off her skills whatsoever, so they could have got any pretty face, really. I mean, she's just got a fighting background, but doesn't fight at all during this movie. You wouldn't even know she's a fighter if you didn't know Gina Carano, so I thought she was a little bit wasted there. The other thing I didn't really like was Tong Po in this film wasn't really as evil as in the first one. He wasn't that much of a bad guy, so it didn't make sense that he broke Eric Sloan's neck. He just didn't have that killer in him, I didn't think. I mean, the guy is training people at a kickboxing academy in Thailand. People look up to this man. Unless I'm missing something in Thai kickboxing, like, are you supposed to just kill people? Is that just normal? I don't know. He just... You know, in the original Kickboxer, Tong Po was associated with Eddie Lee. Eddie Lee, who was a big gangster around that Thailand area. He actually was associated with some like big billionaire gangster as well. So there was a lot of corruption going on there, a lot of gangster activity. In this one, Tong Po is just a trainer. He has his own kickboxing academy. A group of guys really look up to this man, and people from around the world come to train with Tong Po. So I didn't understand why he would just have Eric Sloan in this Muay Thai clinch and break his neck. It didn't really make sense to me. Maybe I just missed something. Maybe they cut out a few scenes from the film. I just didn't think Tong Po at this stage was as evil a person as what they made him out to be. That's all. But that's just a very small nitpick anyway. Because goddamn, the original Tong Po, he was a scary dude. You would not want to fuck with that guy at all. But overall, the fight scenes are choreographed really well. It's a very enjoyable film. It's definitely my second favourite out of the Kickboxer series, and having said that, I didn't mind Kickboxer 2 and 3. Sasha Mitchell did a reasonable job at stepping in as one of the Sloan brothers, but definitely didn't have that same nostalgic feeling as Kickboxer 1. That movie was incredible. I still watch it to this day. I love going back and watching that film. Definitely is rewatchable. This new one, Kickboxer Vengeance, probably not quite as rewatchable as the original, but it's definitely my second favorite out of the entire series. Certainly one of the better martial arts films that have come out in recent years, so guys, make sure you check that one out. And giving it a score out of 13, I don't understand people that review movies but don't give them a score. How the fuck are you supposed to know whether you're supposed to watch it or not? You have to give it a score to give people an idea of what you feel about the film. Out of 13, I score Kickboxer Vengeance a 9, so definitely worth watching. It has some weak points. If you compare it to the original, particularly like I do, I can't help it. It is a remake, it is a reboot. There are things you may not like as much, but hey, it's definitely an enjoyable, fun martial arts ride.